now, how I cut and dye my hair. So I am going to this Swedish hairdresser called Melinda, and I actually cut this this morning by myself. Yeah, but she cuts my hair as well. It's nothing special, it's just like a simple haircut, and then I do this myself. And she's doing this thick highlights, as you might see. I have pretty dark hair myself, so it works for me. Every time she's fixing my roots, then she is trying to fill in the already existing highlights, so it won't be any more or new ones. Have you sold your apartment in Sweden? No, I didn't own I didn't own an apartment in Stockholm, so that was pretty easy. I used to live with my ex for about 3 years, and then when I moved from there, I simply broke up, and 24 hours afterwards I had this new apartment that was for rent, and then I rented a bigger one because I was thinking about like maybe buying one in March this year. So I was like waiting for that, because in Sweden it's super duper hard to lend money for an apartment, and now I just moved here. So when we may think about moving somewhere else, then we'll just buy something together, I guess. Who are your idols? I don't have any idols. I've never had any. It's so weird. I remember like being a kid when everyone was like posting posters on like Justin Bieber or Twilight or like Britney Spears. I was like, okay, isn't that a bit weird? I think the persons that I really like look up to, we have nothing really in common in our past. So I tried to mix a lot of different people that I could be inspired of, like maybe my aunt, for example. I was really looking up to her, and I'm still doing it because she's just so kind. She's a very kind person. I've never remembered her like being angry or anything, and I remember a lot of other situations where other people would like scream at her. She was always calm, like, okay, so let's try to fix this. Or, you know, my stepdad, when I was a kid, he was such a hustler, so I was inspired by a lot of things from him. My dad, for example, he's very, very spiritual, so I love those things about him, and I took a bit of that to myself, because in the end of the day you can't be like someone else. You have to develop yourself to be the person that you want to be, and the best version of yourself. So that's why I thought it was so much better to just pick the best things from a lot of people that I was inspired by. Do you come from a rich family? No, I don't. My mom, she pretty much raised me as a single mom. I visited my dad. He lived up in the north, so I visited him maybe 3-4 times a year for 1 week. I am from a small town in Sweden. In the beginning, we lived in a pretty like poor village, actually, and I remember it being crazy. I was like 4 or 5 years, and they had this gang with older kids that made me do crazy stuff. And I remember they were like stealing stuff, we're walking on bridges, and we're doing really dangerous stuff. So I was really thankful for moving from there when I started the real school, and then we actually moved to like this little more luxury village. I wouldn't say that you have any specific rich people in Sweden, especially not in the small town where I'm from. So it depends on how you see it. Like, I remember in the small town where I'm from, if someone would have like a t-shirt from Ghent, costed like maybe 700 euros, then you were super wealthy. And now being like in Abu Dhabi and you see people wearing like crazy stuff, then you understand like, okay, that was not wealthy at all. If you compare that to another small village somewhere else, then you might think my town was super rich and wealthy. So it depends on how you see it. But no, I would say my family had like, they had nothing more than anyone else and nothing less. But in my point of view, we always had too little. You said you started out with no job, no apartment, no money. How did you do it? How did you begin? So this person, she's talking about when I was 18 years old. So in my point of view, my childhood were pretty messy actually. I still have a lot of issues with it in many ways. I actually think that I have experienced all the type of problems that you like can go through in a Swedish family as a kid. And when I was like 16 or 15, I moved from home to my boyfriend's family. They just took care of me and they were super nice. So I'm forever thankful for what they did for me. And they took care of me like their own daughter for like 2 years. And then I realized like, okay, I can't do this because I don't love my boyfriend anymore and I don't want to like use him because I have no other place to live. So I just have to deal with my own shit, break up, which I did. And my mom had bought this new house with her new husband, and they had this little pool house. It was about 4 or I think it's about 5 square meters maybe, with all the pool stuff in it and everything. No window, no air, nothing. So what I did was like asking my mom. I haven't spoken to her in years, and I said, okay, I just want to finish school. Can I move back home? So I did, and I tried to do the best with this little pool house and made it my own room. It sucked. It was the worst time ever. And it didn't last for long. I think I stayed there maybe 2 or 3 months, and then some incidents made me have to like move from there and quit school. I only had like half year left, but I had to quit school anyway. So simply much, I was so scared and sad. I just sat in my room for like 2 or 3 days, and I called my old best friend called Sonia, which I've known since I was 1 year old. And I said like, I don't know what to do. And she said, Bella, do you know what? I have this student room that you can lend from me. It costs like 400 euros per month. I know that's a lot more than you have right now, because I had like nothing, by the way. Even though I was working a lot, I had not that much. And I said, just, yeah, okay, I have to do something. I have to be responsible for my own life now. I'll take it. So the other day I just took the train from the small town to Stockholm, had no job, and I just had this this apartment which I couldn't afford, but I was like, I am going to fix this. Otherwise, whatever, it couldn't be worse than this anyway, so I just have to fix this. So I moved there and I like emailed the company with a little brief of myself. It was a clothing store, and I said, hi, my name is Bella, blah blah blah, I'm looking for a job, do you have time to meet up? And then she replied to me the other day, actually like, hi Bella, yeah, we're actually looking for someone in our store right now, so can you meet on Wednesday? And I said yes. And then I got this like tryout for 20 hours per month, which would have paid me less than the rent. But I said, I take it. This is an opportunity. I have no friends. I have nothing to do except from work. So even though I'm only paid for 20 hours a month, I can do more. I can show them. So I start working there, and I remember like after just 2 weeks or something, the boss just went into the store and he said, you're working very, very good, Bella. I said, thank you. And then he offered me part-time job instead, which would be like 40 hours a month, I think. So I was like, yes, I could pay my rent. And then this nightclub wanted to have me as a promoter, which was super fun because I had no friends in Stockholm, but I was like, okay, whatever. I'm just gonna take everything. So I took this promoter job and I started blogging about this like time in my life, and I started to get a lot of readers, and I started to be invited to this type of events, and I met people, and then all of a sudden after just 2 months I was actually opening a new store for the company, and I was the manager of it. So everything turned out so well, and hard work beats everything. Even though I really felt like shit for a few months, it was all so worth it because I just fixed it, and I'm still so proud of myself. I know for a lot of you guys out there, bragging about a store managing job isn't super impressive, but for me that was like, wow, I really did this. I can do everything. When is your wedding? Well, we already had our wedding. We're already married, but we are planning on having a real wedding in about maybe 2 years. I just simply don't think it's any rush with that. A wedding costs a lot of money and a lot of time, and I don't want to go through that right now. How old is Mr. T? Mr. T is 29 years old. Where is your husband originally from? He's half German, half Danish. And I'm so impressed with him as well. He's also from a small town, and in many ways he's been doing the same type of journey as I have, even though he's a lot smarter than I am. That man have been studying for years. He knows how to fight, that's for sure. I hated school, I still do. Just give me bad feelings. What does your boyfriend do for work? He don't like when I get too personal about him. But he's working for a big company here in Abu Dhabi. What is your weight? I think my weight is around 60 kilos, maybe 61, 62. And I'm 170 tall. The best camera, iPhone 11X Pro. What is it called? iPhone 11 Pro Max, I think. That's the one I'm having. This video is actually recorded with the selfie camera. In the beginning I hated it, but now I love it. How did you start your career? What did you do to be successful? Okay, so I was telling you about this store managing job, and after I've been working with that for about 1 year or so, I was doing this blog, and it started to go pretty well. So that's when I realized, like, okay, I don't want to work in a store my whole life. I haven't studied anything in particular. I don't have any education. What should I do? There was this blogging company in Stockholm, which I did this internship thing at when I was 16, and I met the manager there a few times on events and everything, and then one day he actually just called me like, okay Bella, I think you're super good, and we need help with this new festival coming to Sweden. We need help with the social media marketing. I would have half the salary as I was given by the store managing job, but I was still like, okay, I have to risk something, because otherwise I will just still be working in this store my whole life. So I got to like make a decision for my real career, and I was really into marketing. So I said, yes, I'm taking the job, and I did, and I had some problems paying my rent again. It was awesome, and I loved my job. It was the best ever. And after that, I started going on other type of blog events. So I was on this affiliate marketing company, and we're talking about my blog and how to like insert those things into my blog. And she said one of our customer service girls just quit her job, and we're looking for someone who can do that, can do Photoshop, and can do some light coding. So just say to us if you know anyone. And I said, sounds like me. The COO, she was like, yeah, okay, interesting. So do you want to meet me for a glass of wine today? And I said, yeah. So I went to this cafe, and I met the COO of this affiliate company. During my childhood, I was taught how to code and do some light HTML. Since I've been doing like a lot of other web pages and hanging out with a lot of geeks, I knew a lot of stuff about that. So we were drinking a lot of wine. We had the best time, and the next day I was hired. So I got that job, and after only 3 months or something, 4 months, I just said to the COO, like, can you meet me in the conference room because I have an idea? And she loved my idea, so she was like, yeah, digital affiliate in physical events. I got to be head of events at that company for like 1.5, 2 years. And then I was so tired of not having enough salary, so I quit my job there. I had no other jobs. I was like, come at me, world. And 1 hour after that, I was sitting at my hairdresser, and the other hairdresser, she said, Bella, my husband wants to meet you. And I said, okay, who's your husband? And then he apparently owns like a big media company in Sweden. So I met him a few times, and I got a job there called head of influencers. So I was like managing all their blog platforms and everything, kind of business development and everything, and I just thought it was the best time ever. And after that, I quit that job as well, and I started my own company. And ever since, I have been doing my own company. And it really feels awesome to have this new company launching in just a few weeks, that you will be able to see soon. That was many questions. I actually have a few more, but my computer just died and I've been recording this for over 1 hour now, so I think this will be enough for today. But thank you so much for watching, and if you have any more questions, just ask me, and then maybe I could do another one like this in the nearest future. Yeah, so I hope you liked it, and go out there, hustle, do what you want, be happy. You can do this.